Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some more of the Invasion of Alara combo with the Bramble Familiar. If you're unsure how it works, we'll go over it very quickly. We have two cards in our entire deck that Invasion of Alara can hit. An Invasion of Alara, when it enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile two non-land cards with mana value 4 or less. You may cast those two cards without paying its mana cost, put one of them in your hand, put the other cards exiled this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. So the two cards we can hit is Bramble Familiar and Go for the Throat, because they're the only two spells in the top right corner that are under 4 mana. However, with Bramble Familiar, when you go to cast it, you can actually cast its fetch quest side. The mill 7 cards and put a creature, enchantment, or land from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. That's very important. So if you have something in your graveyard that you would rather hit instead, Bramble Familiar will not do that. It only picks from the 7 that you mill. As you'll find out in one of our games in the late time, it totally backfires on us. But other than that, we're allowed to do that. We play one Go for the Throat, so we can potentially get a third wield with Bramble Familiar, because the way Invasion works, it puts the other copy in your hand, so you can only do Invasion twice. But we're hoping that we can hit a Go for the Throat one of the times so we can wheel it an additional time later down the line. But the main thing is we want to do Bramble Familiar, hit the Desecrator, remove the counters off Invasion, and then do everything that Invasion does on top of it with this back end. When it targets player, draws 2 cards. You may put an artifact card from your hand onto the battlefield, create a token that's a copy of a permanent you control, distribute 3/1/1 counters among 1, 2, or 3 creatures you control, destroy target permanent and opponent controls. Other than that, that's the deck list. We're just going to go ahead and get into it from there. Now we know everything is going to be going on, hopefully. And if you all enjoy, please be sure to subscribe. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the games. Let's get into them. Sure. Like a fine hand here. Not the greatest hand of all time, considering we're against mono red, but I have a hand. We have a hand of all time. Okay. We actually have to wait. We need a Herd Migration for a black source and play the Flesh Gorger is what we need to do. Sure. Turn 2, I gain 3 life, but I still go down 2. Again, we need to swamp. Do this. We'll play this out. We're 2 turns away. Also play a Luca next turn and remove something if needed. Oh no, we can't. Don't have. Well, we can because we have Storm Carve, but not really what we want to do. We'll just hit the Swift Spear. Monster Troll will deal with it, but it kind of negates this, and we'll just take 1. Maybe they'll play with fire this anyway. We deal with that. Leyline Binding is a fantastic draw for us here. We need blue. These both apply to that situation. Let's just play our Bramble Familiar to maybe jump in front of the Swift Spear here. So again, Leyline Binding most likely will pick up the Felden. Barring something crazy. Sure. Pick up here. Leyline Binding comes in. We'll pick up the Felden. The reason we make this block is so we lessen the amount of creatures that they have. Great draw. I think I play this. I cast Luca. And we make a 3/3. A concede. Sure. We're going to make a 3/3 there, and then we can plus make the mana and then play the Flesh Gorger on its 7 mana side. Or if they play multiple creatures, we can minus and then take out some. This hand kind of looks unplayable. Oh, this one's a little bit more fine. It's all go to the bottom. We have 2 black sources for these. As far as this cut down's available, which I think we'll see here. We play something either way. We're probably still playing the Flesh Gorger. Liliana, that's not great. I'd be Liliana. Don't probably. Double minus here, which is absolutely tragic. Well, I can actually beat Liliana in a weird way. As long as we keep progressing that way, and eventually I just draw shards of Alara. But we have to keep going with this. Aganuma Cycle. Sentinel Lost Lore. Enters battlefield, choose 1, return target card you own from exile, ensure put target. Didn't take it, so I'm not worried about it. Workshop. What do you minus again? Each of us discard. When it enters battlefield, when it dies, create a 3/3. This has Menace. We can actually kill the Liliana here. Don't need the Virtue. Again, we want to be able to play Alara whenever we draw it. Attack. Take out the Lily. Well, I'm a little surprised to see they didn't just turn it on to value, but they ripped Shieldred, okay. Yep. Uh-huh. Like this. Now we wait. We can gain some life, but also trade that off. We will. No Lily, I think, is kind of what we want. We take more damage if we block that. I think so. We'll just block like this. I know this trades us off, but that's not why we're doing it. Let us cycle her migration. Go get, I guess, planes here. Not the worst draw of all time. They said nice. That is a little upsetting because I feel like that means they have removal for it. But hey, you never know. Alright. Now I gotta read this. When it enters battlefield, choose 1 or more. Return target card you own in exile that has an adventure into your hand. Put target card you don't own from exile. Can we go ahead? We can. Let's go ahead and get this Shieldred offline. Surprised no attack with Shieldred there, considering this has Vigilance. I feel like you would want to get the Atraxa gone if you could. Attack like this. Hit. Honestly, we'll go ahead and play this. Perfectly fine. And I'm gonna wait. Might need to be playing all these behind. All right, so good draw, no removal, and we find a way home. All right, cool. We'll keep this. We have a herd migration, that's why we're keeping, because we don't have a white source that we'll need later. All right, our opponent decided to play. We get Ginger Brooding, which is fine per se, but here we go. This blue-white artifact list. Yeah, there's the automaton. There he is. Play Flesh Gorger to try to prevent some of this damage coming in. Or maybe make them, you know, commit to doing some other savory things. Sure. Well, that can't come in. That can't come in. It can come in, but I'm definitely blocking. That gets way out of hand in comparison to how little it could. Can I stop drawing the Bramble Familiars? I'm asking for a friend. Play Luca. We'll take a little bit of Phyrexian damage here. We'll come in. We will make a 3/3. Kind of act as a force of blocking. Then we can play a Bramble next turn, and we can activate the bottom. It deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. Creatures playing where X is the greatest power among creatures. Oh, I guess it would only be 3. I thought it combined it for some reason. So I was like, that's kind of insane, but it doesn't. Because people, wizards are reasonable. Sometimes. Did print Oko, so. Not giving them all the passes in the world. Invasion is going to have to wait because we do have a lot of green to play currently. Cauldron. There is no grist in this format. -4 can't even happen. I don't know why I was even talking about it. Double attack here. It is. So for us, we let this go because we can't get it off anyway. So we'll just trade off the Ginger Brute if available, which they'll eat a creature, put a counter on it, and they'll trade this off. Very often you see the Cauldron. So let us cycle here to go get a white source because we'll need it for Leyline Binding, or less. Get that white source. We'll play a Bramble Familiar because we do have the Desecrator that we can play next turn if our Bramble Familiar sticks around. It'll be able to eat the Grand Meditech. Look at this silly goose. Paying a Phyrexian to do that. Could have just paid a blue. A little scary, if I have to say so. Draw and discard. The option. Discard another one of those. So they might have an extra one in hand. I'm gonna let this 5 come in. Maybe they'll eat something and put a counter on it. Looking to eat a creature. On there, sure. Another land. Alright, so we get to hold this up. Play Desecrator. Could have held up the Cauldron, by the way, to eat the card that I target with the Desecrator. But they chose not to. Eat this Ginger Brute so that your creatures don't get that activated ability, but I think I need to actually take out what they're doing. I'm going to eat this Start Migration. Start creature and opponent controls, gets my next -X. Start it here. That's now gone. No attacks. We'll block. Now need a blue mana for this invasion. No big surprise. Our 5-color deck, missing one of the colors. We block with the Desecrator on the Patchwork Automaton. They can just give it flying and I don't even get the choice, which they do. Then they can upgrade it. I just assumed maybe they wanted to try to trade this off, but that would also be a bad decision. Considering when it leaves the battlefield, it does the same thing. Blue mana, but slightly short. I can't just activate that, right? So we'll get to do it pretty much twice here. Go for it. Wheeling time. Not that bad of hits. Could do this, start reanimating, but oh, I can grab the Desecrator too. Have the Cauldron to bring back, so Desecrator might not do anything. So I'm gonna grab the Lifelinker. Even if I grab Desecrator, they definitely can eat the card in response with the Cauldron. Why am I stuttering so bad? I'm like, just talk. Creature. That's 6/5. Might just be dead here, to be honest with you. Might not even matter. Activate Cauldron now. You have another Cauldron? Okay. So it has all these abilities. So they activate Ginger Brute's ability. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have an artifact. Well, you'd have to give flying, I guess, because of this. Activating Ginger Brute's abilities for all this. Oh, Leyline Binding. Welcome. You are what I've needed. Do I have to tap all my white mana for this? No. It just doesn't want to put me down to 1. I don't think so. Oh, I do have to use all my white mana. That sucks. Invasion. Could have Leyline Binding, but hopefully Invasion hits something good. I mean, well, I know what it'll hit, but hopefully the Bramble Familiar will hit something good. A lifelinker, but I don't even think it's going to be enough. Do I have go for the throat, I guess? We hit here. We hit here. Yes. We have to get the Cauldron out of play. Gain that back. Up. I'll draw 2. I will destroy the Cauldron. Although we could have maybe destroyed that. Choose a permanent I control. I guess we can copy this. Put counters on this. Then this will enter. Then this can eat something. As such. Give creature -X and take out that anyway. That's gone. That's gone. We'll do this. We'll lose 1 life. Perfectly fine here. To gain it back plus a little extra on top. We might have just grinded this game out when it looked very, very, very shaky. But I think it kind of came from when the Cauldron was there. And they had a chance to exile a card in response, and they didn't. They did it kind of preemptively on the turn, so we got to play the Desecrator anyway, and then exile something and get one of their creatures off the board early. Alright, talk about the deck a little bit. Not really a whole lot to say, just in case you've not seen it yet. I just kind of wanted to play it again, because some people reported this as like a coding bug, or they don't think that's how it's supposed to work. It's very possible that they patch it or something, which I'm not entirely sold on, because if it was a problem, it would have been fixed already. Hopefully. Hopefully we haven't had this out for like 2 weeks and it's still not a problem. The only other thing is the deck's not like entirely all that crazy in terms of being good. It does kind of fold to some board wipes because it's very hard to get it through, and then all of a sudden you have like 10 cards left in your deck because the amount of exiling and Bramble Familiar and Natali and Traxa pulls out of your deck and things like that you run through your deck very, very fast, very, very quickly. That is a problem with it, but again, it looks very funky when you pull up the deck list, but realistically it looks a lot more like this. Let me get these over here. This is kind of more or less what the curve actually looks like in terms of the way that we play it out. The bigger spells are just there as hits before Bramble Familiar or Alara. And then they're also cheaper, so they don't get hit by Alara on their small side. They only get hit on the big side. So Bramble Familiar and 1 copy of Go for the Third is the only thing that can get hit. This deck's been played before. I've also uploaded this deck before, but I wanted to play it again just in case Wizards has just been slow and not have fixed it yet. So in case they do fix it, I come back tomorrow and it's not working the same. I wanted to play it one last time. Other than that, I hope you all enjoy the video. I don't have a whole lot to say other than the deck suite. And we'll see you around in the next one. Peace.